Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. The whole home arcade space has really blown up from 2018 with all of these at-home products, but there's always a choice you have to make because games have unique controls. Like racing games. How do you duplicate this at home? Fighting games, games with trackballs, shooting games, and that's only scratching the surface of the unique controls of arcade games. There's so many arcade games with unique controls, and it makes it really difficult to find one system that does it all. And if you're not careful, you'll take up a lot of space in your house trying to find that perfect arcade setup. And while there is no perfect solution, there's an interesting Kickstarter campaign by a company called Retro Dim Sum. The product's called the RevoCade, and he's tackling this issue in a really interesting way. So let's check it out.
The RevoCade supports 3 separate and unique control panels: an arcade stick, a racing wheel with pedals, and a spinner and trackball combo. Connecting the control panels to the main unit is simple. Each control panel has 4 connection points and a USB connection that we will discuss a little bit later. The 4 connection points make contact with pins on the base of the main unit. You slide the control panel in and it locks into place with the locking mechanism. To remove the control panel, you lift up at the end of the handle and pull the control panel out towards you. As far as the aesthetics go, the housing is made of plastic. Keep in mind this is a prototype, so you may see jagged edges or imperfections, but I'm being told this is all being professionally manufactured when the final product is delivered. This also includes the marquee. The final design will look like the one on the screen when the production unit is done. The design as a whole is heavily influenced by the Japanese SNK SC19. A similar design to this one can be seen on the Neo Geo Mini. The one thing that really catches your eye as soon as you turn it on is the screen quality. It has a bright and vibrant IPS screen. The viewing angles are all but perfect no matter what angle you look at it. The screen area that's visible to you is a 1:1 aspect ratio. The square shape of the monitor you see is accomplished by hiding some of the actual screen internal to the unit, so that way you only see a perfect square. Why this is important to you is you'll end up with a perfect image no matter what game you decide to play, vertical or horizontal. They'll all be displayed in the proper aspect ratio. Now you will notice black bars on the top or the sides depending on what game you're playing, and this is perfectly normal. This is done so the game can be displayed in the proper aspect ratio. The end result is a viewable screen that measures 17 inches diagonally. The RevoCade is powered by a Raspberry Pi 4. It's running RetroPie, and while no ROMs are included, the configuration for the swappable control panels will be there, so the control panels themselves will be plug and play and ready to go. You'll be on your own when it comes to games though, but not to worry. There's a huge community that already exists to help. However, I would say some basic knowledge of RetroPie would be useful if you're considering this product.
Okay, so I know you're curious how each control panel works. The one that I was most excited about is the steering wheel. So we're gonna give this one a shot real quick. The gas and brake are down here, so I'm gonna hit the gas, make sure I'm in low. So, obviously if you haven't played Outrun before, you have low gear and high gear, and that all functions and works perfectly on this. You'll notice a black bar down here. So he actually configured this screen for this particular emulator playing Outrun so that the screen would be bumped up so the steering wheel wouldn't get in the way. As far as the overall steering wheel quality, it's okay. It's not terrible. It's not the best one ever, but it's not bad. I don't know if this is gonna be the final production one, but it's decent for what it is. Overall, it works pretty good too, so it's pretty responsive, and we're gonna get to that USB port in a little while because that USB port that's actually on each one of the control panels allows it to be used on another console with X input, so we'll show that in a little bit. But let's move on to the next control panel. Oh yeah. The next control panel we're gonna check out is the 6-button fight stick. It has Sanwa clone buttons and a Sanwa clone joystick. It also includes an 8-way restrictor gate. So just keep that in mind because if you're gonna play any other 4-way games, you're gonna have to be a little bit more pronounced in your movements. Now I know Retro Dim Sum has other control panels coming, so maybe he'll include a 4-way restrictor gate on another control panel sometime down the line. The 6-button control panel also includes a function button. The function button is really cool because you can save states of your game and load those save states just from hitting that button and also exit the game as well. That's actually not on the racing wheel, and I wish he would have included that because I find it really convenient. The last control panel of the bunch includes a spinner and a trackball. And then you notice these 4 buttons right here. This is for basic menu navigation. And then you have an A and a B button. You also have a select and start button, so that'd be credits, and that's to start the game. And this one also has that function key. I love this function key because it brings up a menu that allows you to do save states and continue where you left off. Okay, so one of the added bonus features to the RevoCade is all the control panels can be put into X input mode. So this one, for instance, is a steering wheel. I have it hooked up to a Nintendo Switch via USB on the Switch dock, and it works great. The only caveat is you just have to make sure it's in X input mode, and then there's an option on the Switch to make sure that you can use wired controllers. It adds a little bit more value for your money.
On the back of the unit, you'll find the AC plug, the power switch, the variable volume control, an Ethernet port, 2 USB ports, and the micro SD slot. I'm not sure the exact size of the speakers, but they're located under the marquee, and they pack a pretty good punch for a small unit like this. Anyway, you get the point. Overall, I really love this project. While using a Raspberry Pi to play retro games isn't necessarily innovative, the hot swappable control panels, in my opinion, is very innovative and quite refreshing to see someone really thinking outside of the box to come up with a solution like this. For that reason alone, I really hope Retro Dim Sum and the RevoCade get the backing it needs to become a reality. All right, it's time for me to share my final thoughts on the RevoCade. First off, I personally had a really good time with the product. I think it's very highly differentiated and super innovative to have removable control panels for different control layouts to accommodate for different games. I think that's really cool, and I haven't seen any other home arcade emulation product that did anything like that. I've seen people try to put as many controls on a single control panel to accommodate different games, but never ones that really give you ample space and cover a lot of the different control schemes and layouts for different games. Now keep in mind, this product doesn't cover every single one of them, but the guys over at Retro Dim Sum actually have aspirations to create additional control panels should the product and project be successful. So we'll see. That's really based on if the community decides that this is a product worth investing in. So really, that's where it's kind of stressful to be the creator, because it's up to the community to say, yeah, I think that's a cool idea, or it's not a cool idea. I personally like it, and I wish him nothing but the best. Now, for caveats, I want to throw caveats out there because you do need to be aware of a couple things if you were considering backing this Kickstarter campaign. If you have a general knowledge of gaming on a Raspberry Pi device and you've used Retro Pi builds before, then this is going to feel familiar to you. But this isn't a product that you just bring home and turn it on and start gaming. There's a little, there's a couple of steps that you need to perform to get to that point. It is relatively easy, but it's something I need to tell you about because it's a concern. You have to make sure that you feel comfortable with the product and how the product works. On top of that, I think there's a lot of other things that were really cool. What he did with the monitor was very innovative by offering the perfect square to provide the perfect aspect ratio for every game. I think that's really cool. Some people come out with devices, they stretch the image, they're not preserving it. So you start playing the games and they don't look and feel like you remember them. And this is important to him because he's a gamer himself. So I really like that attention to detail. Okay, if you've come this far, then you're probably wondering, how much does it cost to back this campaign? There's gonna be 7 different tiers. You can get the control panels independently. Those are gonna be the most cost-effective options. And the control panels can be used independently of the RevoCade, which is really cool. Then there's gonna be RevoCade bundles bundled with various different control panels. There will be one, obviously, that has all of them. But there will be a package that will be no more than $500, and then the other ones may vary in price. If you order it in the United States, you're gonna get free shipping. If you're international, that cost is to be determined. So if you wanna back the project, I'll have all the links in the description for you to do so. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Consider subscribing to the channel and put your comments below. I wanna know what you think about the RevoCade. That's it for now, and we will see you on the next one.